I've watched a lot of my friends play a lot of video games online. Everything from Sekiro to Elden Ring, Bloodborne, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Nier, Final Fantasy XIV, and especially Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid blew my mind when I was a kid, and it's a series I've carried with me into adulthood. Metal Gear 2 was great, Metal Gear 3 blew my mind again. Metal Gear 4 was perfectly timed for me, and Metal Gear 5 was as well. Finding out what people think is one of my favorite things about criticism, and I was delighted when I found out that my younger brother, who we're going to codename Player 3, he played Metal Gear 3 a while back, and he really enjoyed it, and he's reaching back to Metal Gear 1. There's something really cool about the fact that Metal Gear has captured me and my younger brother at this point. I really get a lot out of the creativity and storytelling that Hideo Kojima and his collaborators like Yoji Shinkawa bring to the table, and I wanted to know what my little brother thought as well. So I sat down and I talked with him about it for a little bit. We chatted about Death Stranding, then we played a little Death Stranding, then we chatted some more. He's still very early in the game, so it was really interesting seeing what he was latching on to and what hadn't taken root yet. It was really difficult to avoid spoilers and backseat gaming, but I guess that's just how these things go. I'm David Brothers, and this is No Relation, Chronomentrophobia.
Let's make a toast to the time waiting for tomorrow when we're played out by the band, drowning out of sorrows. What will become of us all at the end of time? We'll be fine, you and
So can you introduce yourself to us? Tell us how old you are.
I'm 16 years old, almost turning 17 in June.
Okay. And you're my little brother whose name we're not going to say on the internet
Yeah.
because, it's weirdos. And you like video games?
Yeah, I like video games.
What kind of games do you like to play?
Story games, online.
What do you mean by story game?
Oh, story games, it'd be like crime or adventure. It could be a variety.
Okay. So not just like action games or fighting games. You want games that have like a narrative, let's say. Because you want to learn something, or what do you get out of having a story? What makes that interesting?
It adds something to the gameplay.
Okay.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Get you engaged.
And you played Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What was that like? What system did you play it on, and when did you play it?
I played it on the 2DS. It was really interesting to play.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of hard getting to know the controls, but after a few hours, I got to know it well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this thing I like a lot, this phrase. I heard it a lot growing up. You'll probably hear it too. It's easy once you know how to do it.
Yeah.
I think Metal Gear is one of those where it's really complicated, but once you're in the groove and sneaking around, it feels very natural.
Yeah.
Would that feel the same to you?
Yeah, definitely.
It really tripped me out that you liked Metal Gear because Metal Gear 1 came out, I was 13 or 14.
Yeah.
So you started playing those games around when I did back in the day.
Yeah.
So was Metal Gear your first game by Hideo Kojima?
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3.
What are you playing now?
Death Stranding.
And what do you think of this one?
It's very amazing,
Mm-hmm.
The graphics are obviously amazing. They're kind of on the level of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That one's a big deal.
And the story is pretty interesting. It's very original.
Mm-hmm.
It stands out from a lot of the games. And the characters, they're good.
Yeah. Kojima's originality is really interesting to me because some people make video games that are kind of like movies,
Yeah.
I think Grand Theft Auto is very much kind of a Hollywood-style game, let's say. But Kojima makes games that are very much video games. He wants you pressing buttons and sneaking around and doing things. Do you think Death Stranding is complicated? Was it hard to learn like Metal Gear, or do you have it figured out now?
It's sort of like Metal Gear. First it was kind of complicated to know, but after all the tips and stuff, you can kind of understand it.
The in-game tips?
Yeah, the in-game tips like that.
Do you always read those, or do you skip past them?
I always read them. If I want to climb, there's give me a tip there.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned liking the characters.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite or anyone that you're interested in the most so far?
Well, game kind of started, so I don't have a favorite yet.
Yeah.
So it probably like I would probably like choose a favorite character. I'm like kind of far in the game, like half.
That makes sense. So how far into the game are you? You mentioned it just started.
Oh yeah, right. I'm on episode 2.
Okay.
Kind of started building some stuff, watchtowers, bridges, post boxes. It was kind of getting difficult to go into all the places because there was first Timefall and the BTs. Yeah, and there was the mules, but they were kind of easy to get past.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like this Metal Gear again. Yeah.
I like the way that the combat's not the point of the game. Like, you can fight all you want. You can hit people with boxes and things like that. You know, eventually you'll get different kinds of guns. But you can play the whole game in a pretty semi-pacifist way.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Did you ever do, like, a challenge run in Metal Gear? Like, a no kills or anything like that?
No, I just, like, kind of just played the game. I did try to, like, sneak past through without killing, but
Yeah.
I would get seen and then I just, like, just go on a rampage.
It's Rambo time, right? Yeah. But when I was a kid, I heard about people getting the big boss ranking, you know? Like, no kills, no alerts, and finish the game in, like, 3 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
I was never that good, but I would always try to do no kills as much as I could, just to kind of... Because that's how I thought the character would behave. Like you mentioned, the story's adding to the game.
Yeah.
For me, thinking about what the characters would do and then kind of playing that way adds a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And in something like Death Stranding, it's interesting because it's so open that you can kind of do whatever you want. You can deliver things all day.
It's very peaceful.
Yeah. Have you seen anything that really, like, knocked your socks off so far?
I have to say it was... I don't have, like, a favorite moment, but, like, the part where Sam's team gets wiped out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That part was also in the original trailer, I think. And everyone's like, what is going on with this baby?
Yeah, and it kind of, like, you know, every time I would see, like, a rainbow in the game, I would be, like, afraid and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say afraid that way. Like, because you know something is coming.
Yeah. Like, it's very interesting. Like, you can make a flower be the dangerous thing. And with the rainbow, Hideo did that.
Yeah. And that's also part of the beauty of the game is that, like, it's a really good looking rainbow.
Yeah.
You know, I played this game half on PS4 and half on PS5, and it looks even better on PS5, I gotta say. I know you're playing on PS4.
Yeah.
But I think the graphics being so realistic and the story being so much about other people, like community, building connections and things, I thought that it was really moving as a video game, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm interested in seeing how it sticks to you. Like, you're just a couple episodes in, there's so much to go.
Yeah.
I know you've seen, I think you did one delivery for Heartman out in the woods.
Yeah, that was really difficult.
Yeah, getting through all
And
that
the
timefall.
wind. Yeah.
Was it the wind farm, I think?
It was a wind farm.
Yeah. I think everyone, they get there and they're like, oh man.
Yeah.
But it kind of sets the tone for the game, right? Where it's like, here's the things you have to fight, but also here's how you can beat them.
Yeah.
How did you get to that part, out of curiosity?
The
What did you
wind-
do?
The wind farm?
Yeah.
Well, I was exploring a bit after I, like, finished a task.
Yeah.
And then I saw the woods, and I was like, oh, hey, there's woods. I'll, like, go up there. There was stuff over there, so I wanted to get it. And then there was this tip thing. It said there's strong wind and stuff. It'll push you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the rainfall, which was a very bad thing. So I had to, like, put stuff in the private locker so it could, like, not get damaged.
And did you fight the BTs or sneak past them?
So far, I just sneaked through them.
Ah, okay. So where I'm at in the game, I'm in basically the end game. Like, I can just run around doing deliveries whenever I want and fighting BTs and things. And I've taken to just getting captured by them when they show up and then doing the boss fight and then running away.
Yeah.
And it's both, it can be fun and easy, but then sometimes, like, you mess up one little thing and it suddenly becomes scary. And I think this game does a great job of that.
Yeah.
What do you think of the delivery system? Like, a game where you're a delivery person?
That's very interesting. Like, there's the weight thing.
Yeah,
Very
weight
interesting.
management is very
Yeah.
important. It's almost like a walking puzzle, I
Yeah.
found. Like, how much can you carry and get someplace efficiently?
Yeah, I would, like, sometimes have to drop stuff.
Yeah.
I would leave it there, and then when I'm done, I would come back to it.
Are you picking up packages from other people?
Yeah, I would sometimes find that.
delivering those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, that adds up a lot as the game goes on. I think the game gives you so many cool options for carrying stuff. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's what I like about the game. There's a lot of options in it.
Mm-hmm. You can kind of play it however you want.
Yeah.
So we just played about an hour or so of Death Stranding together, me watching. And what I wanted to see was how you played the game, kind of the decisions you were making, that you were coming across, and the way that you approach BTs and mules and things like that. And I noticed that you sneak almost all the time. You try to avoid fighting, whether it's a BT or a mule.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
For the mules, so if I'm like doing a task that's like really, really important, and I come across a mule place, I'll just like pass by and try to escape them. If it was just like a standard like task, then like I'll just like kill them. So, that.
And what about BTs? You really didn't want to fight BTs while we were playing.
Because how they're presented when first introduced, especially in the where the same team got wiped out. I was like, I got the feeling like, oh, I shouldn't be like messing with these guys, because once you're in the black puddle, you don't like struggle out of it, then it's kind of over. Then the whale part had me panicking a bit, but thanks to you, of course, tips, managed to like collect my thoughts, think about decisions.
I was trying not to backseat game too much, but I did give you more tips than I was intending to.
Yeah. So I've handled it more.
Were you surprised when you beat that first one?
Yeah.
You didn't think it was going to happen at all?
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen at all.
How did you feel after? Like when you realized that you could beat a BT if you needed to?
Like, oh wow, this is like groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking, that's a good word. What do you mean by groundbreaking?
Like BT's like dangerous. I killed one.
So it kind of changes how you see the game?
Yeah.
How many BTs did you beat tonight?
About 2. Beat 1, I escaped 1.
You escaped 1? I think that counts as defeating them, because then the time fall goes away for a while.
Yeah.
Which way do you prefer, the fighting or the escaping from the BT?
That's a tough question. Because, like, if you're, like, out of weapons, like the grenades, then you're just gonna have to escape it. If you have the weapons, then you're pretty much, like, okay. That you can just beat the whale. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think I prefer to fight them, but I tend to come prepared for that. Like I keep hematic grenades with me just in case. Or, I use the strand to kind of sneak up on them and cut their connection.
One thing I do like to say that about the BT fights did remind me of the time I used to play Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
A very good game. The times in the, I forgot what it's called, it was the Sea Kingdom. You had to like get these arrows, I think. There's big, I forgot what it's called, it was like a, Mythos horse, I forgot, it was like a horse and a humanoid-ish torso.
Yeah,
thing.
I'll find it and put a picture up.
Yeah, that was, kind of reminded me of that. It was like a mini boss fight.
Tonight we were working through episode 2, probably the end of episode 2. You said it felt like at the end. Why did it feel like the end of episode 2?
With all that was happening, and the music that was playing, that just had to be like the ending of episode 2. Like, BTs, a lot of BTs.
Yeah.
Mountains, music that was just playing, how it was the city that was presented. Like, you just like finally reached that city.
And how did you feel about the pathfinding side of things? Like knowing you had to go from the top of the map to the bottom of the map and there's like a bunch of BTs in the middle.
That made things easier.
It
The
did?
markers. Yeah,
using
it did.
waypoints.
Yeah.
Were you just kind of hoping for the best before and just walking?
Well, like, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
The mountain part, that was very hard, especially with the loss of the bike.
Oh yeah. Do you want to recap what happened to your bike?
Yeah, I was trying to think about how I would like go to that other side,
Mm-hmm.
and then I accidentally moved my bike to think like a how do you say it, like an edge of the mountain, stuff
Mhm.
like that. So I tried to get back up, but that wasn't possible. So it fell, and I fell there. I think a lot of my irons took damage.
Yeah, you fell on one cliff edge. The bike fell even further than you did.
Yeah,
And exploded at the bottom of the mountain.
yeah. I mean, the bike. When I discovered the bike, it pretty much just made things easier, kind
Yeah.
of. But
But now you're
Moment-
learning the weaknesses
yeah,
of the bike.
yeah, it just went back just straight to walking.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that guy said about his brother at the end of this chapter, where we were?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
What was his name? Victor?
Victor Frank?
What was his brother's name again?
Igor was his brother.
Yeah, maybe, like, I don't know if I heard Igor mentioning his brother, but it was very surprising to see that he has a brother, and, you know, Victor seeing the baby, or the BB,
Yeah,
that
the
his
little
brother
charm.
uses, that was, like, very shocking to him.
Yeah.
You know, like, passed on his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So, what? He just gave one of these to you. Why?
I was there with him at the end. We were moving a body. Things went to shit. There's BTs everywhere. And one of them grabbed him. So he told me to take it and run.
That right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this game does a good job of tying things together that way, where you'll meet someone and they have history with someone else, or they feel a certain way that, you know, might change the way you feel about certain things, you know?
Yeah.
Do you have any closing comments, anything else you want to leave out on? Any final thoughts about Death Stranding?
I do wish to play the game, you know, finish the story.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Are you going to beat it before part 2 comes out?
I will try to.
Okay. If you do, we should talk about part 2 as well.
Yeah.
By the end of our conversation, I had a pretty good idea of what Player 3 was in for while he was playing Death Stranding. I know a lot of the twists and turns pretty well, just, you know, by virtue of having been through the game before and reading up on it and listening to the audiobook and buying the art book and yada yada yada. You know, we don't have to go too deep into it. But I was excited to see how he would interpret the same things that really touched me. I found Death Stranding incredibly moving after I beat it. It was the kind of game where you have to sit there and think about it for a little bit and then keep mulling it over after you reach the end game. I found the game's point of view really remarkable and interesting, and it made me endlessly curious about the game. I want to know what everyone thinks about every aspect of this game, and having someone close to me like my brother be into it as well is an even more fun way to approach interpreting art. Like, this is the meat and potatoes, like this is the juice. This is why I love art so much, is finding out how it affects other people and sharing how it affects me. We reconnected this weekend. He's up to episode 8 now, so he's getting pretty close to the end. He's about halfway through the game. And it's great seeing him barrel through deliveries, go directly where he wants to go, figuring out the pathing and the best routes and all that stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's a good time. I'm glad there's art and games like this to bring us together.